it does mean that Sam has completely calculated a different set of matchups here. And as we saw, Mew is one of the most popular decks right now for day one.
Yeah, and this Reggie list is like, it gets crazier the more I look at it. There's Drapion, there's Thornton, there's Rotom Phone, there's also Battle VIP Pass, which is not a common sight to see in Reggie.
After I'm honestly, I'm just curious to see how this plays out. Sometimes you can get an idea of how a deck wants to play by just looking at the list, but this is one that we certainly have to see in motion, Pablo. But Adam Kalamat's going to open us up, starts Dunsparce in the active, has the attachment to Lugia V plus a choice belt, and now it's back over to Sam, starting Reggie Rock in the active, and grabs that Battle VIP Pass, a card that I don't think we see too much in Reggie's also.
Yeah, that must be thinking, wow, that's certainly not the standard for Reggie. It's not like a completely weird card, of course. Reggie's wants to fill up their bench on turn one, and so it's not super unexpected. But I think the Thornton could come into play. We also saw that Sam Hough has the non-ability Reggie Drago as his Reggie of choice, trying to have those extra copies against Lost City. And the 240 damage is also sometimes very nice to have.
And now looking through the deck, getting a sampling of the prize cards. I think the only notable thing was 2-speed lightning in the prizes, but grabs the Regieleki, grabs the Regidrago. Going to just take a quick note of what is missing, and this is very valuable, right? This deck with the Battle VIP Pass is maybe trying to get that forbidden turn one Reggie attack up a little bit more often than some of the other builds. Has the second Battle VIP Pass as well. Grabs Regigigas and Registeel. Once we get Regice, we've got to get energies into the discard pile, and this Dunsparce could go down.
Yeah, the maximizing of the Pokestops and the Battle VIP passes really shows that Sam wants to get a very strong turn one, really trying to maximize that turn one attack possibility. Will it happen? We'll have to see, but usually 2-speed energies being prized is not ideal, but Sam is playing 4, so it's actually not out of the question. And we also see Cramomatic included in the deck.
Wait, this is Reggie's, not Mew. Cramomatic, Battle VIP Pass, Rotom Phone.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Sam Hough is actually just combining the best parts of a completely different archetype with the Reggies.
I mean, are we going to see Judge in Reggie? Probably not, right? We're not actually going to see that, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Just take all the best cards in the game, slap them all together, and with the Rotom Phone, we're looking to draw maybe a few more cards. This is cute to combine, right, with the Dragon's Horde or something like that. Maybe you set up a card to whiff off of the Pokestop, something that you don't need. So overall, I will hopefully... And then the research to get that card immediately. Okay, I see what Sam is working with.
Yeah, that must be a little worried here about the turn one attack. They haven't seen a ton of energies in the discard pile just yet. And Adam does feature both the Dunsparce and the Manaphy combination, which is essential against. But wow, the double Ultra Ball into the Aurora is almost as good as an Ultra Ball into discarding the double Arceus.
Yes, we're finally got the family of Reggies together. 2 Aurora Energy in the discard pile, and we saw a Gift Energy in the hand. So this could just be an attached return, and then just Ancient Wisdom for those 2 Auroras. I think there's still the only 2 Special Energy in the discard pile as of yet. So Giga Impact gonna take another knockout here, but nope.
Wow, a 3rd Aurora Energy as well. So that was the best possible research Sam could have asked for, and gets the turn one attack. And you can see Adam's face not being very happy at all by that situation.
Yeah, under a lot of pressure now. This has to be an explosive turn, has the evolution into Lugia V-Star, but no Archeops in the discard pile yet. Here comes the Marnie. I love that Sam manually attached to this Regieleki. Having a lightning attacker to contest this Lugia and maybe try to close out the game is massive. Adam has 1 shot at getting the Summoning Star off this turn. We've got a Quick Ball, no Evolution Incense here. Here's the Ultra Ball. Is it going to be Archeops? Just 1 on the bench might be the line.
I mean, he does have the Quick Ball, so he can Ultra Ball away this Archeops, grab another one, and then Quick Ball the second one.
Oh, there is an Archeops? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But chooses to discard the Quick Ball, valuing the powerful energy more than establishing the Archeops, which is very interesting to see. But one thing important to note about Sam's list is that he's not playing choice build. So that means he has no way to 1 KO the Lugia V-Star at this point in time. It will always have to be a 2-hit KO. So trading off that turn 1 aggression and maximizing the turn 1 potential of the deck in order to, or like you need to make sacrifices, right? So some of those spots were the choice belts, which are usually a 3 or sometimes even a 4 of in Regis.
And it's a trade-off that seems to be paying off for Sam for now. Adam is now digging through the list, getting a read on the prize cards. This is also another deck where having certain cards missing can make or break the deck. And picks up the Manaphy. Just to get that out of the deck, I guess, is fine. And there's the Summoning Star. Brings Dunsparce and Archeops back. Very cute. You don't have to just bring Archeops. You could bring the Dunsparce as well. So now this Lugia V-Star is going to be even harder to take down. And I guess that's the strategy. Just slap everything down onto Lugia V-Star and just let it buy you a few turns, I guess, to set up the next attacker.
Indeed. Now, this shows the importance of deck knowledge, right? If you walk into the room and you expect to play against Reggie, then you'd always expect to play against a Reggie deck that is playing Choice Belt. But somehow Adam managed to hit the one deck that didn't have Choice Belt, and that probably, if he had that prior information, or if he's able to see most of Sam's deck and notice that there's no Choice Belt, maybe he would have gone for that double Arceus play right here. But seems like the previous information or the current meta trends factoring in here and preventing Adam from getting those two Arceus based on something that Sam doesn't actually run.
Yeah, just grabs the prize, is just going to stick to the strategy. I've got Lugia V-Star set up. I've got one Archeops, and that's going to be all she wrote. I mean, a lot of the games that we've seen, to be honest, if you get enough of an early advantage, you're pretty good at closing out with just the one Archeops. As long as you have those key manual attachments on those right Pokemon per turn, the single Primal Turbo can make it happen. So now Sam Hough just fishes that Regirock back up into the hand, and we can keep the Ancient Wisdom up and running. Regidrago is in the active, maybe gets a Dragon's Horde sometime this turn. And with the Dunsparce now, you know, the Regieleki is not going to put up the big numbers that you really want it to.
Yeah, Sam definitely in an okay spot right here with the continued use of Gift Energy and having that turn 1 prize card. Ooh, going for the boss onto the Manaphy. This must be another tell for Adam that, what's going on? Why are you not targeting the Dunsparce to set up the 1 KO for your Regieleki next turn, right? So this could give Adam a little bit of useful information, at least for next turn, or next game, sorry.
And did Sam fail the heavy ball there on purpose?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, just doesn't want to give up any information about the prize cards because it is a you may effect, right? I'd have to double check the text. I believe it is technically optional, even if there is a basic Pokemon there for you to grab.
Like, yeah,
or was it discarded with the quick ball? I don't even know.
If there's a basic Pokemon, you can choose to grab it or not to grab it because the prize cards are not public information. So your opponent doesn't know whether you are failing it on purpose or not. So you are allowed, yeah. But if you play it, you certainly have to look through the prize cards. You can't not have a look. I believe.
Okay, gotcha. So that is maybe a bit of a bluff, right? Where you're saying, okay, I've got all my Reggies. You know, don't hunt down this Registeel. No worries there.
Yeah. Now we were talking about the second Archeops, as you mentioned. Like usually. One will be enough to power up enough attackers, but Arceus itself is a very good attacker against the Regi decks, especially with Dunsparce being in play to protect it from the weakness. But now that Manaphy is gone and Lugia decks not playing any form of Pokemon recovery, that Dunsparce is just going to be a prize over the course of 2 turns once Sam attacks with Regieleki twice.
I guess what Sam wants to do is by getting rid of the Manaphy, just setting up for that Aleki, as you said, to pressure the Archeops, you know, take that out of the equation. It's a great way to shut down the aggression of this deck, and then it's only a matter of time before Lugia V-Star goes down.
Yeah, I think if you're Adam here, you're thinking, okay, maybe they priced all of their choice belts, and that's why they're not going after Dunsparce. But I'd be very surprised at them not playing choice belt. Like, if I was sitting in Adam's spot, I would never guess that they're not playing any choice belts at all.
Regidrago goes down. Gift Energy is triggered. And Sam's going to draw for turn. A lot of cards in hand, a lot of options. Regigigas now coming up into the active spot. There's the manual attachment to Regieleki as well for Speed Lightning to draw 2 more. Now the energy requirements have been met, and there's Pokestop as well hitting the board. We'll see if he wants to activate it this turn. There we go. 3 cards off the top.
Ooh, but the Regidrago that they needed hitting the discard pile, and the Thornton does get revealed. We'll have to see if Adam noticed it, if he looks through Sam's discard
and this
pile.
is the other Regidrago. We don't see this one too often. It has the Dragon Energy attack, 240 damage. As long as it is not damaged. It hits for that full 240. This one kind of fell out of fashion, but sometimes you just need to hit some big numbers.
Now, Sam can recover the Regidragos in the discard pile. We did see him hit that Ordinary Rod off of the Pokestop, but the question is, can he get them out of the deck afterwards? Is he holding a Capture Energy or a Quick Ball or an Ultra Ball? What are his options right here?
The fact that the Regi deck is so surprisingly consistent does indeed force your opponent to give you a lot of respect. If you take a turn of, oh, there's no way they'll be able to get it, then you might get punished. Here comes the Ordinary Rod, shuffling the Dragon's Horde Regidrago back into the deck, notably, leaving the quote-unquote bad Regidrago in the discard pile. It certainly has a much more niche application in this metagame.
I have to imagine Sam has at least a way to get this Regigigas out of the active spot. Yep, as the Regieleki is indeed already fully powered up, so you don't need the Regidrago right now. It would have been great, but you can also be fine without it. Get that little damage in onto a Lugia. But since it's only 120, the only Pokemon that can KO Lugia next turn is Regidrago, the Dragon's Horde, or the other one. So we'll have to see. Sam will now need another way to retreat whatever Regi ends up in the active if he wants to get a KO. So this turn not getting a prize card, next turn could be a little complicated. And Adam knows that Sam doesn't have a supporter to search for Regidrago, and also doesn't have a Regidrago because he didn't bench one. So I don't know, that could get a little risky or tricky here for Sam to keep up with the pressure that he applied initially with that turn 1 attack.
Yeah, that was 3 manual attachments to get up to the Terra Spark, and now the wind completely potentially leaving Sam Hough's sails. And Adam is chilling, checking the discard pile, and is going to keep looking through the list and just sticking to the game plan. Archeops is still, on the bench, still offering up Primal Turbo to get another attacker set up, which is so key. Lugia V-Star with its massive HP pool is threatening to take one more prize here after everything is said and done. And, Archeops got to set itself up with Speed Wing, which, can also do a little bit of work for you once all the chips are down. A second Lugia V as well in the hand could be benched just to get another attacker, and Raikou being pulled to the front of the list to maybe get set up too.
Yeah, Luminion could be another good option as well as the Raikou. And I think if you're in Adam's spot, your Lugia V-Star already took down 3 Regis, right? It's about to take 3 prizes, and it's only worth 2 prize cards. So you're already trading pretty well with the Lugia, and this is a way to compensate for Sam's super aggressive start in the beginning. So Adam now stabilizing, being able to weather the pressure, and after Sam's a little underwhelming turn, I wonder if Sam's wishing he had targeted down the Dunsparce instead of the Manaphy the previous turn.
Yeah, giving this Lugia a chance to stay in the active is starting to spell disaster. And Sam, after this Marnie, maybe could pull that Regidrago, but now has to find a way to recover a Regieleki or have a second one as well. Evolution Incense coming through for Adam Kalamat, and is probably just going to thin down the deck 1 card, grabs the Archeops.
Yeah, there's also no gift energy for Sam after this KO, so the 4 cards of the Marnie is all he's going to get in next turn. There's still the Pokestop in play that he can use, but as we saw, if the Pokestop doesn't get you, it can't get you the Regidrago or the Regieleki now that Sam will be missing. They can only get the Quick Balls or the Ultra Balls, so it's going to be a little tough on Sam to get another attack depending on what he drew.
This is already a pretty dynamic first game. We can see how Sam's list is built to kind of pop off with the Regis very early in the game, but then gets a little bit clunky as we get longer into the mid game and into the late game, whereas Adam, feeling a lot of pressure in the early parts of the game, set up one Archeops, and it is just putting in that overtime, Pablo. It's got the Primal Turbos, and that is all you need. That, I think, has been the theme of this broadcast so far, is that single Archeops is still surprisingly potent for this deck.
Oh, absolutely. Arceus being one of the best energy accelerators in the game is just, I don't know, it's a really fantastic Pokemon overall. And I'm going to go for the play to protect the Luminion and probably send up the Dunsparce in order to prevent Sam from being able to take 2 prize cards with Regieleki at some point if he had the boss or something on the Arceus, knocking out that and the Dunsparce. So very well played by Adam, and Adam being very conservative with their energy as well. And Sam in a very, very, very tough spot right here.
Yeah, brings the Registeel into the active. So we're going to have to find a way to get this out of the active spot because that other Registeel is in the prizes still. Wow, steal and still, and things are happening. But the Pokestop is being triggered. Cram-O-Matic comes to the hand. Regirock lost to the discard pile.
Along with that research, I believe that might be the 4th Professor's research in the discard pile. And looking through Sam's list, they're not playing Marnie. They're not
all
playing
right,
Serena.
it's all in this cram. Heads. Got to find Reggie Drago, and what else? We got to find Regieleki as well now.
And if you end up attacking with Registeel, you need that Registeel out of the prize cards if it's still there.
So things are getting very, very shaky for Sam Hough. A lot of Reggies are missing now. Getting the Ancient Wisdom up and running is becoming more and more difficult. And even if this turn plays out exactly as planned, Sam might only be taking 1 prize by taking down the Dunsparce. But Escape Rope is excellent if you're Adam Kalamat. You give up on the V-Star, or do you give up on the Archeops?
I think you have to give up on the V-Star, because if you give up on the Archeops, then Sam could potentially be sneaking in a Regieleki here, KO, and take 2 prizes on the Archeops and the Dunsparce and put himself 1 attack away. So he really needs to protect that double KO from happening. If Sam attacks with Regieleki here, he'd be knocking out the Dunsparce, but
oh my god, okay. Dragon Sword for 1 card, has the Aleki. Ancient Wisdom is back online. We can take down the Lugia V-Star. Sheesh.
Yeah, what a draw by Sam off of that 1 card Dragon's Horde. What a way to start the game. And now he'll have the gift energy, and now Sam's back fully set up and almost 1 attack away from potentially winning this match if he has boss onto the Archeops, and not that Aleki, the other one.
And the 2 prizes are taken. No Speed Lightning, but we do have a Registeel in the hand. We just need 1 more way to recover this Regidrago if it does go down. Speed Wing does hit for a little bit more thanks to the powerful colorless energy. 120 base right now, so Regidrago is going to hit the discard pile here pretty soon.
Yeah, but the question is, what attacker do you power up if you're Adam as a way to close out the game? You're going to go down to 2 prizes after this turn, but there aren't very many Pokemon that can withstand the damage, so I think Adam's going to have to rely on Sam whiffing. He didn't whiff last turn, but he might need to whiff this turn.
And if that is what you are relying on, things can get pretty bad. We've seen, Marnie Path, Roxanne Path, trying to buy some time. Boss's orders to strand something in the active, try to buy some time. And the other theme has been players drawing that 1 card they need to get out of this situation and close things out. Radiant Charizard is picked up, the other heavy hitter, the finisher, the closer for this Lugia deck. You wanted to be taking more than 1 prize, though, so it's still something there with a decent amount of HP at the very least.
Adam has definitely gained a lot of really good information out of this game, though. He hasn't seen any Path to Peak, he hasn't seen any Marnies, and he hasn't seen any Choice Belt, so he knows that Sam can get a really explosive turn 1 or turn 2, but after that, the deck does seem to dwindle down, as we've seen a little bit, and has to rely big on the Gift Energy or the Dragon's Horde.
I love the inclusion of the Irida as well in this Lugia list, being able to tutor for the Luminion and grabbing an Escape Rope, it looks like, from the top of the deck. It's a great way to find those key cards for this mid-late game scenario. Luminion V also translates to another supporter for your next turn, and here comes the Primal Turbo.
Yeah, gonna leave that Charizard fully powered up. It does have 160 HP, So that's going to be really important against Sam's Pokemon. The only Pokemon that can take it down is Regice through weakness, but everything else whiffs on the KO, other than the Dragon's Horde Pokemon, I guess.
And then Lost Vacuum comes through to get rid of that Pokestop, send it to the Lost Zone. Lumineon was actually the card that was sent to the Lost Zone to pay that cost. So Lumineon number 2 is still alive and well. Going to hit the bench and find another supporter. Is there a very specific supporter that Adam Kalamat needs at this point?
I mean, they already played Irida, so maybe for next turn, since you can't play around the Gift Energy, maybe there's a boss play potentially. They do run 3 with no Serena, so that does give them that little extra oomph against single price Pokemon such as this deck or such as Lost Box, and we do see the boss's orders being grabbed in preparation for next turn.
Yeah, so Sam is set up to take prize number 5, but with the boss's orders, hitting a key Reggie target, getting prize number 6 is going to be a very tall order indeed.
And so we do see the knockout, we do see the draw off of the Gift Energy, and we're going to have to see if Sam has enough resources in their hand to respond to this. I believe they're out of research. They're down a few ordinary rods as well that they had to use for Cramomatic. So what's going to happen from Sam? Can he find that Regidrago to fill up his bench and continue to attack?
The Cramomatic, let's go!
And it's heads!
The Regidrago is going to be brought out of the deck. I believe there is one more in there from the earlier Ordinary Rod, if I've been keeping track, Pablo. Or at least a card to grab it.
Cramomatic being so clutch, and maybe Sam has the right combination of cards to actually attack with the other Regieleki and close out this game. That is a possibility, knocking out the Archeops and the Dunsparce on the bench. So the game could be over here, or we could see yet another turn.
All right, Regidrago hits the bench. Pokestop reestablished. There is the manual attached for turn. Professor's research to discard the rest. Registeel going to the discard pile. 7 cards now drawn. And what does Sam Hough need to put together that Regieleki?
He needs double Scoop Up Net, I believe, and the other Lecky. That wins him the match. I don't know if he has 2 Scoop Up Nets left. He did have the research that I thought he was out of, so we'll have to see. Didn't slam it immediately. I feel like if you have to win, then you would already be playing down the cards, and we do see the power-up of the Regidrago, confirming that it will not be the Lecky play to finish the game.
And thankfully, because the Primal Turbo already set up the Radiant Charizard, this Archeops going down will still allow Adam to exist in this match. There is the Scoop Up Net. Twin Energy goes to the discard pile, and Regigigas gets re-benched. Drago back now into the active. Going to take down this Archeops, and then Sam has to keep planning for the next turn. He's just going to use that Ancient Wisdom once again, reset by the Scoop Up Net to set up the Regieleki. This is fantastic when you're able to do double Ancient Wisdom to play around your opponent, disrupting these Regis.
Yeah, now Sam doesn't have to worry about finding the Regidrago again to power up. He essentially has set up game on board. That Dunsparce, wherever it is, can be sniped by the Regieleki. There's no way to recover the Manaphy. So even if Radiant Charizard was able to survive this attack, there's nothing that Adam can do to prevent that Regieleki sniping the Dunsparce.
A beautiful checkmate scenario set up after clutch Cramomatics, and that is game number 1 going to Sam Hough. 28 minutes left on the clock in this round. Sam is going to need to go pedal to the metal to close out this game number 2 to take the win here and make it not go to an unfortunate tie.
That was a crazy game we just saw. The Dragon's Horde for 1. If it's not exactly Regieleki, we'd be talking about a completely different game and result here.
The Dragon's Horde for 1, the Cramomatics coming through. We saw the double-edged nature of the Pokestop as well. Putting that Regi into the discard pile means you have to go and get it once again. the early establishment of that Reggie attack, having that Ancient Wisdom online, forced Adam Kalamat to only get one Archeops onto the bench. And so even though he was putting up a fantastic fight with just a single Primal Turbo each turn, it meant that you had to be more specific about where to apply your energies and what attackers you had available when. So if we shuffle the cards, go into game number 2, we could see a completely different game play out, Pablo.
I think another important thing to note was how clean Sam played out the first few turns, and especially the energy attachments. Usually, as a Reggie player, you assume that you're going to have access to any energy that you want at any given time off of Regigigas, right? But Sam very patiently didn't discard those extra energies, just manually attached. And that turn where he didn't fill up his bench, but he was able to still attack, was very crucial towards the end, because that allowed him to have that previous damage on the Lugia, which then was followed up by a KO with the Reggie Drago. If he doesn't do that and he whiffs an attack, that could essentially have been game over right there.
This is one of the reasons I think Reggie has really become a fan favorite deck. It has like this straight up easy to follow strategy, but then there's so much texture to every single matchup and every single board state that allows you to really flex. And of course, we can't undersell how much of a non-standard build of Reggie's this is. And Sam has piloted it to 5-0-2 and is one game away from getting that fantastic 6-0-2 record. Sam Kalamat opening up with the Evolution Incense and finds the Lugia V Star, has already seen how explosive Sam Hough's deck can be and wants to make sure that he has Summoning Star available as soon as possible.
Indeed, and I think this is a very good read from Adam that Sam does not play Marnie at all, so he's safe to grab that Lugia, thin out the deck, because it's not going to go anywhere. Now, seeing Sam's deck really go off last turn and get that turn 1 attack, as Adam, you must be thinking, okay, I might need to bench a second Lugia V here, because otherwise I could just lose out the game, potentially, or without Lugia V, then obviously you're not Summoning Star next turn.
You have to make the decision. Was that just really good luck, or is the deck built to do that very consistently? After seeing the Kramatic, after seeing the Battle VIP pass, you've got to respect it. You've got to respect it. We've got to find the second Lugia V onto the bench, and hopefully Adam Kalamat has the means here. Aurora Energy manual attachment discards Archeops, and that is it. Can Sam Hough pull off a turn 1 attack again to take down this Lugia V?
And the raw Battle VIP pass in hand, so we certainly could. There's a lot of pieces that need to happen, but this is where the 4 Speed Lightning energy that Sam Hough is playing.
Bad Drago! Bad Drago!
Yeah, that could also factor in. He has both options. With 1 Aurora energy price, the speed energy could be the determining factor here. The Pokestops, the Battle VIP passes. Sam certainly can go for it. I feel like the hardest card to find here might be the Scoop Up Net potentially.
Yeah, there's 1 Scoop Up Net in the prizes, but no Reggies in the prizes. So all of those are still going to be able to be grabbed. Battle VIP Pass grabs Reggie Drago and Reggie Alecki.
Yep, not the 240 damage Reggie Drago right here. So we are going to see the attempt at the turn 1 win off of the Reggie Alecki, and there's a lot that can be done with his hand, and 1 speed energy already in the hand.
Ultra Ball discards the Heavy Ball and the boss's orders. I think Sam Hough is definitely in a dream scenario. 20 minutes left on the clock, 22 minutes, and you don't want this to become a grind fest like it was in game 1, where both players were down to 1 prize remaining, 2 prize remaining. You want to just make this short and sweet. Reggie Ice now picked up and added to the bench. We just need Regigigas and Reggie Rock. Scoop Up Net brings Registeel back to the hand. Dragon's Horde now in the active, activated to draw 2 cards. Speed Lightning still is yet to be attached.
There's an escape rope as well, so he's guaranteed. If it's heads, that's probably for research, and it seems to be heads, even though it's out of screen.
Players rolling the die and having it land on camera challenge, level impossible.
Indeed.
Professor's research is found, however, and after this shuffle, it's going to be 7 more cards coming to the hand for Sam. We're probably going to have to attach the Speed Lightning first.
Now, there's 1 Scoop Up Net gone, the escape rope is also gone, and there's a scoop up net in the prize card. So it's going to be a little tricky. We're going to see the 7 cards drawn. There's still a few pieces left to go. 1 energy, 2 more Reggies, and a scoop up net. Can Sam get there?
All right, show it, Sam Hough, the master of getting the clutch cards exactly when he needs them. Pokestop also looking for a few more resources. Regirock goes to the discard pile, but we got a quick ball at the very least. All the Reggies are still in the deck, so quick ball can find that remaining piece. And he's got the hand off screen, Pablo.
I know.
The suspense is killing me.
I mean, I feel like if he had it, he already would have done it. I think he has all the Reggies, so he has the turn 1 attack, but he's missing that scoop up net. So very clutch here, almost getting that turn 1 KO.
Gets rid of the Drago, the Evolving Skies Dragon Energy Drago. This was its moment to shine, Pablo. I'm so disappointed.
I know. Like, it's always exciting to see the different Reggies, right? The Dragon Energy being utilized, certainly. It has been done on stream before, I believe. Not going to be our day here. But, yeah, maybe I might have mistaken that Reggie Drago for the Gigas in hand. We'll have to see. So maybe coming up just a little bit short, not just on the switching card, but also on the final Reggie Gigas necessary. And Adam dodging a big KO here.
Is there still hope for some sort of wild play? Reggie Gigas hits the bench. We get scoop up net for the, just the double Drago. Sam is daring Adam to make a move here. If you take down this Dragon Horde Drago in the active spot, then I just have another one ready to go. Isn't even worried about getting the Gigas. Just going to go for the double Drago bench.
Now, Adam has the perfect follow-up hand. They will be able to play with Tarkib, so we will be getting a full game right here, dodging that turn 1 donk by Sam. But now it's on Adam. He has the initiative, and we'll have to see how much of Sam's list did he figure out. Does he know that there's no choice belts? Does he know that there's no Marnies? I feel like his play last turn indicated that he thinks there's no Marnie, but he was also conservative with some of the quick balls and evolution instances that he could have used to thin the deck, so maybe he's not quite sure about that. But we're going to have to see what his line of play here is and how can he maximize the potential of his deck. That Regieleki with 120 HP is definitely enticing as a target for the Stoutland. That could be the game-winning play for him.
And with, the double Drago bench, there could just be a weird line, where Adam is beginning to dance around the double Dragos, leave them both in play, force Sam to search for that other scoop-up net. There is one in the prizes. One was already used that last turn. Sam Hough has a plan, but it does offer a lot of counterplay to Adam Kalamat.
Yeah, Adam definitely has this important decision to make. He has access to 1 Luminion and 1 Luminion only. So does he go for the boss to make it harder for Sam to get an attack off next turn by having the 2 Reggie Drago down? Or does he go for more consistency and just digging through the deck and getting more resources out with the research?
Research is being eyeballed. It's already there at the bottom. And you're just going to maybe refresh, see what the rest of the deck is looking like. And it indeed is the research. Adam not going to get too cute. You know what I mean? Again, you can't take that risk against a Reggie deck of going, there's no way they have this card. I'm going to try to gum up the Reggie engine. But there's a Pokestop right there. You still have room with Dragon's Horde and Pokestop to get that scoop up net and maybe kind of come roaring out of what seemed to be a bad position.
I think this shows how Adam is really respecting the fact that at this point Sam could be running anything, right? So he hasn't taken out choice belts out of the equation, and therefore he's valuing being able to potentially find the Mana V and or the Dunsparce in order to bench those and get some help for their bench and also for the weakness. Now, I am very surprised that they didn't use at least 1 Archeops before doing their research so that they could thin the deck a little bit more out of the less useful energies, such as the V-Guard, such as the speed as well, potentially. But, yeah, interesting to see.
And now with Ultra Ball discarding even more, thinning the deck a little bit, I like that we have a full setup now. Dunsparce coming through. We could see Manaphy grabbed at some point. But this is going to be a completely different game from what we saw in game number 1 because of the 2 Archeops. Now, Adam Kalamat's going to have a lot more pressure having access to 2 Primal Turbos.
Yeah, now At this point, with the time left on the clock, what Adam aspires to is to winning this game and getting a tie off of this situation. Sam, of course, would love for this game not to finish, and therefore he would get the win. But at 5:03, both players could actually try to tie their next round and go into day 2 undefeated, right, at 5:04.
Yeah, so just goes for the professor's research. Didn't have another item card for that Karamomatic, it looked like. And after that Tempest Dive, of course, the Pokestop also was discarded. Very important to note. But now we just have to find Regigigas. And Sam also sticking to the line we saw in game number 1, just manually attaching to Regieleki, keeping that threat level up. Manaphy has not yet appeared, but Regigigas certainly has.
Yeah, now Sam will be able to get that attack off, start applying pressure. But right now, Adam is in the driver's seat. This Lugia will take 2 prizes, and it's worth 2 prizes. So he's had the initiative. And if Adam is able to make sure that Sam can only take 1 prize at a time afterwards through using Arceus, through using Charizard, through using potentially Raikou or even Stoutland at the end of the game to take the last 2, then I think Adam is in a really, really incredible spot right here.
Yeah, it's a repeat of what we saw in game 1. This Lugia V-Star is going to be putting in a lot of work in the meantime, just taking prizes, and the double primal turbo means that we aren't going to have the evaporation of the threat levels we saw towards the end of game 1. It's going to be a much more consistent amount of attacking strength coming from Adam Kalamat's side, and Sam Hough missed out on that crucial turn 1 attack, just didn't have the resources line up completely. It was still a great effort with that Battle VIP pass. I was really rooting for him, to be honest.
Yeah, he was 1 Reggie short, and that attack, even if it hadn't been a KO, then it would have set up the KO this turn. So missing that 1 crucial Regigigas could have put Sam then in the driver's seat to close out the series 2-0.
And now Adam just looking through the deck, right? Just checking the discard pile, checking the hand, keeping ahead on all of the resources. Raikou V is picked up. There is space on the bench for it. So this is going to be a lot of additional pressure, being able to take out 2 Reggies at once potentially with the right setup.
And no Manaphy being chosen to be benched. Adam does have access to all the Auroras and all the powerful energies, which is really nice. Actually, 1 Aurora is down on the active Lugia, but will be able to fully power up this Raikou to potentially eliminate the Regieleki threat right here, or could just save it for next turn. But I feel like if you're going to power it up now, you might as well play it already, because there's a chance that Sam could pick up that Regieleki, bench the other one, and then all of a sudden Raikou is not taking a KO on any of the Reggies right now.
This is another key turning point in the matchup. We've got the pressure now of Raikou on the bench with that amazing shot attack. Can do so much damage to Reggies, not just by disrupting the Ancient Wisdom, but taking 2 prizes in 1 turn, potentially with a single prize deck, is massive. And if you're able to get the bench snipe, you don't have to worry about, I need to boss up this specific Reggie. You just snipe it while it's still on the bench, and it means that you can target down the Reggie that is hardest for your opponent to return back from the discard pile.
Yeah, the Regieleki is definitely one of the biggest threats to Adam's board right now with no Manaphy in play. We did see it wreaking havoc and threatening game the previous game in 1 turn earlier than it actually happened. So eliminating that, and once again, I think Adam respecting the fact that there might still be a choice belt somewhere down the line in case he needs to use another Lugia V himself.
And fortunately, Regidrago does survive the amazing shot, can just get the return KO. But if you don't get an Ancient Wisdom up this turn, then you're just falling behind. You lose out on a tempo of needing to once again fish through the deck. And as Sam Hough closed out game number 1, having 2 Reggies that were powered up and ready to attack gives you a lot more time to use your resources elsewhere to search for other cards. Rotom Phone now being employed to look at the top 7 cards of the deck, pick one and put one of your choice on top after shuffling.
Yep, I believe Quick Ball was the choice.
Wait, is it top 7?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's top 5.
It's 5.
It's top 5, yeah. Or it might be 4, actually. I think it's top 4. Top 4 or 5, one of those.
I know it's weird. It's not a Mew deck. I don't know anymore.
I'm thinking of Trainers Mill. I think it's
I'm thinking
top
of
5.
Energy Lotto. Like, there's so many cards that look at top X, top Y, top Z.
Yep.
But regardless, Rotom Phone gives you a card of your choice, so you can combine that with the Dragon's Horde. It's very useful in this deck. I'm surprised.
Yeah, same with Pokestop. You could leave an item card at the top and then use Pokestop to draw it, which is really nice. And that's exactly why we're going to see the Dragon's Horde plus Rotom Phone combination for that quick ball in order to fill up the bench. Now, Sam really needs to make something happen here because Adam has the initiative, and it might come down to that Luminion V somehow as Sam's way to be able to catch up to Adam's current pressure.
Beautiful. Finds the Regieleki, and then just Professor's Research. Discards the Thornton. We don't really need it from this point. 7 more cards now into the hand. And it's just about, okay, which attacker do I want to power up? You know, which Regis am I going to be missing? Do I have the cards now after the 7 cards were drawn to get more Ordinary Rods or maybe another Quick Ball to recover a Regi and keep my Ancient Wisdoms up and running? There is still 1 Scoop Up Net in the prizes, 1 Aurora Energy in the prizes, a lot of special energy to be honest, but it's about having the recovery options.
Now, the Scoop Up Net, this is so clutch because Sam will be able to use the bad Regieleki. What? Okay, I was thinking that Sam was going to use the Regieleki to snipe something on the bench, and then Raikou, which was powered up, was not going to be able to take a prize here, but instead choosing to go for the Regirock route, taking this prize and eliminating the Raikou. I'm very surprised that Sam didn't choose to just eliminate the Lugia V-Star because then Adam would have needed to power up a whole other threat if he wanted to take a KO next turn.
Is it just maybe based on the contents of the hand, maybe there isn't that Ordinary Rod in the hand to follow up with this play? Maybe we just have a second Regirock. And so Sam Hough is saying, I'm going to promote Regirock because I have a second one in hand already, and if it goes down, I don't have to use that time and energy to search for it and recover it from the discard pile. But at the end of the day, you know, crisis averted. Raikou does go down. And it's only a matter of time before Regieleki comes up to claim those extra prizes from the Lugia V-Star.
Yeah, there's certainly merit to that, and making sure that it's more important to make sure you have back-to-back attacks with Reggie than getting cute perhaps with that play, but also with how many resources Sam has gone through and how few cards he must have left in the deck. I feel like it's a risk you take. You're getting 2 prizes as well. You're unlocking resources from the prize cards, and you're putting Adam in a situation where their resources are very inefficiently used at that point. And when you need them to whiff a KO or whiff in some situation, then that's what you need to do. Yeah, make sure that at some point they don't get an attack off. And right now, Adam has his board fully set up in order to be able to accomplish the best situation.
And now with Manaphy hitting the bench, you know, that spread attack, that bench sniping that you were maybe relying on to punish this Lugia V-Star is now off the table. We've got Primal Turbo putting a powerful colorless energy on this Archeops in the active. Could just set up for a speed wing here, get a little bit more chip damage down, or is it just going to be a retreat into a different attacker? Because the active Archeops can still use its Primal Turbo as well. I don't think that's been spent yet.
Yeah, no, he definitely still has another Primal Turbo available. I would expect Adam to eliminate this Regirock through the Archeops, and Adam's thinking, okay, this Archeops can bring me down to 3 prizes. The other one can bring me down to 2. Lugia can bring me down to 1, but then how do I take this last prize card? And if he has the read that there's no path to a peak in Sam's deck, then Charizard can easily do that, because Sam can never take multiple prizes in one turn at this point, outside of going boss onto the Luminion, boss into a Lugia, but for that he needs the other Regieleki that he doesn't have benched.
And this is the battle, right, between having not just all of the Regis, but the right kinds of Regis. You know, the players hedge for different matchups with having the other type of Drago or the other type of Regieleki, and this is a moment where you benched one just to have that threat potential, and now the board state has shifted and it becomes the wrong Regieleki indeed.
Yeah, Sam now needs to figure out what to do, but at 5 prizes, he really needs to find a way to catch up to Adam and Adam to turn this around. It's going to be Very difficult, though. He needs the boss's orders, but then that means he also needs to already have the pieces to retrieve the Regirock or rebench and repower up every turn. If he already has the Regirock, as we see from his hand, then that's fantastic. But then what happens the future turns, especially because there's no gift energy right now?
Yeah, there's still one in the prizes. Ultra Ball is just going to discard Battle VIP Pass and Aurora Energy. We can search through and find to thin one more card down, but typically you want to use this Ultra Ball to recover the missing Reggie, right? Using it just to kind of thin down, kind of get cards out of the hand as head up for Dragon's Horde means that Sam Hough is in a weird spot of the cards not lining up specifically well enough with the current board state. The second Regirock in the hand is nice, however, but even if you get your attack off this turn with the Ancient Wisdom, you aren't putting a big enough dent in Adam Kalamat's board.
Yeah, Sam really needs, like, if after taking his knockout, he needs back-to-back boss to eliminate the Luminion and eliminate the Lugia and take his last 4 prizes. If he doesn't do exactly that, then it's Adam's games to lose.
And if this goes to game number 3 with only 5 minutes left on the clock, it's going to be a tie for certain. So this is Sam Hough trying to turn this, hard-won first victory into 2 wins back-to-back to close out the best of 3.
I guess in a weird situation where we went into a game 3 under time with only 1 or 2 turns, if Sam was able to get that turn 1 powered up Reggie to dunk whatever Adam had him active, maybe that's how you close out the series, right? But I feel like even though we saw it on game 1, it's probably not going to happen like over half the time at least.
Yeah, it's been 2 games in a row now where the Reggies were kind of all present, but it's not just about getting the Battle VIP Pass on turn 1 and getting the Reggies all down. You have to get the energies in the discard pile. It's certainly a tall order, and even though it's always fun when that opportunity presents itself, it's not something that you can truly rely on. You've got to play towards your outs, of course, and with 4 minutes left on the clock, Sam Hough is probably going to be in turn 1 Reggie attack, Prey Town.
Yeah, now Adam does have the possibility to power up the Charizard right here, or the Arceus. He is missing the crucial Heat Fire energy, though. Adam cannot afford to attack with a 2-price Pokemon this turn. He really needs to make sure that he's attacking with Arceus right now, or potentially Charizard if he fancies that, but he cannot afford to let Sam take 2 prizes this upcoming turn and then 2 prizes afterwards.
Still a lot on the line. We don't really have eyes on Sam Hough's hand. He seems to always have it out of frame. I don't think there's a boss's orders in that hand, however. So you have to draw into the boss's orders, right? Try to thin down the hand, go for a really clutch Dragon's Horde, maybe line up. And if you have to play a Professor's Research, you're absolutely missing that timing, like you said.
Now, with the big investment of the Aurora Energies on the Charizard, the initial Aurora Energy being utilized as well on the Lugia, that means there's only 1 copy of Heat Fire Energy left in the deck in order to power up the Charizard. And now that they quick bolt for the Charizard, and if they do play the Marnie, that Charizard will be at the bottom, and I feel like that's the crucial attacker that they need in order to win this match.
Yeah, and look, we can see a manual attached just to kind of get some extra value here. This Lugia V-Star is still damaged. It's a huge liability moving forward, and things are getting a little clunky, right? With the 2 Lumineon V on the bench, the Radiant Charizard can't be found. So there is Lost Vacuum, gets rid of the V-Star, gets rid of the Pokestop as well, trying to keep those resources under control, and there's the Marnie. So Radiant Charizard is going to be out of the running for now, and after 5 cards drawn,
very, very surprised at the lack of attachment by Adam, though, because now he can fully power up the Arceus. He did draw the Heat Fire Energy off of the Marnie here, and I believe a double turbo, but I feel like that was a little risky on my, I don't know, that was a little risky.
Yeah, when things are down to the wire, the players are maybe going to take some lower percentage lines, just trying to claw out and get a win here and there when they can.
Adam, absolutely. I mean, he doesn't have to attach because... No, he does have to attach. Yeah, there we go. He does attach the energy because what's going to happen is Sam KOs the Arceus. There's no more energy acceleration. Adam uses Lugia to KO whatever's up next, and then he has to use Charizard to close out the game. But if you don't bench it or if you can't retreat into it, then it could be problematic.
So this is going to be a scenario where Adam Kalamat might be kind of akin to what Sam Hough was in the position in game number 1, where you're struggling to take prize number 6. So after Reggie Drago goes down, we do have Reggie Gigas being promoted to the active, has an Aurora Energy already manually attached to it. And can we recover the Drago to turn on the Ancient Wisdom and get an attack onto this Archeops? Speed Lightning is the attach for turn. 2 cards drawn into the hand.
Sam really needs to get that boss's orders KO into Lugia, but that's a big ask to recover the Drago, find it, bench it, have the boss in order to try and close out this game, and then have the boss again the turn after. If he doesn't do that, then the best thing he can hope for is that Adam doesn't have that last attacker, right? If he gets a knockout on the Archeops, hoping that Adam doesn't have a way to close out the game, but we do see the Reggie Drago getting benched.
So everything is coming together. Ancient Wisdom onto the Reggie Drago. Giant Fangs now up and running. Not going to use the Reggie Gigas here in the active. Might be a scoop up net to get this out of the active for sure. I'm double checking. The one escape rope was discarded way earlier in the game, if I recall.
That was discarded way earlier. That was actually one of the cards that Sam might have needed to get the KO on Adam's single Lugia on turn 1. That didn't happen. It was the card discarded for the Cramomatic, in fact.
And so here's the scoop up net is found onto the Reggie Gigas, does reset the Ancient Wisdom, and Sam Hough did this in game number 1, being able to use 2 Ancient Wisdom in 1 turn in order to get 2 Reggies prepped and ready to go back to back. Makes it very hard for Adam to disrupt that Ancient Wisdom. It stops mattering once you've got 2 Reggies prepped and ready to go. After the Pokestop is reestablished, it's going to double check the discard pile, make sure there's enough special energy in there to hit the attacker that you want. At the very least, Adam does still have the Manaphy on the bench. It's just a matter of Sam maybe taking down this Lugia V-Star, getting 2 prizes, getting a little bit more utility and more cards in the hand.
Now, time did run out, and therefore Sam is turn 0. If he doesn't take 2 prizes this turn, then Sam effectively cannot win this match. He can only hope Adam cannot win it, and we do see the attack prompting the situation where it's Adam's game to lose. He has exactly 2 turns. He needs to attack exactly twice. Will he be able to do it? He has all the necessary resources, except Sam is at 3 prizes. If he knocks out... Oh, actually, no, never mind. I was going to say that Charizard might not have been able to if Sam didn't take another prize card, but if Sam doesn't KO the Lugia V-Star, then Lugia can just attack again. So I was going to say something very silly.
I get that way too. Whenever it comes down to the wire, I start making up lines. I'm like digging deep. There's got to be some way for the player to make it happen. But here's the Ultra Ball is going to find that Radiant Charizard out of the deck. We can get this onto the bench, and finally the final attacker that Adam Kalamat needs is now present. So many prizes have been taken. Excited Heart is up and running. We just need a few manual attachments here to cover the spread.
Sam has exactly 1 play here. If Adam goes ahead and attaches the Heatfire Energy to the Charizard this turn, which it seems like he's going to, then if Sam goes boss on anything that is not the Charizard, and Adam doesn't have exactly an energy to retreat, that's how Sam stops Adam from winning this game on turn 2 of time. So Adam's best play possible is actually to not attach the energy.
And the Pokestop gives him the escape rope.
The escape rope completely nullifies everything that I was just saying. So now with no hand disruption available for Sam, it should be game over 100%, unless we see an awkward discard off the escape rope somehow.
Man, the Pokestop goes both ways. Let me tell you, the Ultra Ball now discarding the Stoutland and a boss's orders just to draw 1 more card, gets the Lugia V out of the deck, thinning down here in the 11th hour.
Indeed, so it's Adam really trying to make sure that he doesn't make a mistake, essentially, at this point. He's really trying to figure out exactly which cards he needs to use or not use in order to maximize the chances. He hasn't seen a Marnie yet at all, or even a Roxanne from Sam, but just in case there is that possibility, he's really playing around absolutely everything. And we do see the attachment, we see the KO, keeping the Pokestop in play, which is very smart because if something does happen to his hand, he can use that Pokestop to re-find the escape rope that we just saw.
And so it's back over to Sam. Didn't take 2 prizes last turn. Promotes the Regia Ice. And the only line you talked about, Pablo, was trying to strand something here in the active, getting the knockout on this Charizard perhaps, but we have the escape rope ready to go. So Sam Hough is going to come up just a little bit short here, even though he has the other Regidrago. Cram-O-Matic, can this find something to get him out of the situation? There is the heads.
You know what, though? If Sam attacks the Lugia V-Star with Regi's attack,
okay,
right, that means Lugia cannot attack. And if he doesn't take the 2 prizes, then Charizard also cannot attack.
Oh, yeah.
His ability, yeah, exactly. He still needs 2 energy to attack with Charizard. So choosing not to take a prize card here is the right play for Sam, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Oh, my goodness. So he's going to go for the scoop up net, gets that back into the hand. Blizzard Bind is not going to knock out the Lugia V-Star, benches the Drapion V.
And there it is. Charizard cannot attack this turn. There is the escape rope that can be used to reset this, but he needs energy.
And has the Drapion because it has a lot of HP to play around the escape rope.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did Sam actually pull this off right here? There's no more energy attachments, no more Archeops.
The damaged Lugia V-Star from so earlier in the game. We thought Regieleki was going to come scoop this up down the road, but now Blizzard Bind is going to strand it in the active instead.
Wow, what a play by Sam. This is turn 3 off time, so Adam needs to win right here. He is holding a Marnie.
Is there double turbo or something?
I don't believe there's any energy left. Otherwise, we'd be seeing the escape rope into whatever, right? And then Marnie to find that energy, because the deck definitely has less than 5 cards now, and then just retreat, attach, and KO. Lugia is powered up with 4 energy, so they would be able to do 220 damage to the Drapion if that was the Pokemon. There we go.
Oh my
Sam,
goodness.
What a play. What a play.
Congratulations. Took game 1, was not able to conclude game 2, but because he had the win in game 1, was able to win the best of 3. Absolutely wild game. Every time we thought a play was going to go one way, it went another way. Yep. We thought that the strategy to win was going to be line A or line B, and he went all the way down to line F, stranding Lugia V-Star in the active with Blizzard Bind, and then having just the right amount of prize cards untaken to turn off Radiant Charizard's Excited Heart ability. Its attack cost is reduced for each prize card that is taken, and there was no way to attach the energy because the Archeops had gone to the discard pile.
Yeah, there weren't actually any energy left at all.